Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're taking one of the absolute most profound ancient texts in human history, the Bhagavad Gita. Specifically, its monumental 18th chapter, and we're transforming it into a modern consciousness manual. We're going to bridge thousands of years of philosophy with quantum physics and neuroscience, all to help you find some absolute clarity in a pretty chaotic world.
Have you ever felt just completely paralyzed by life's endless uncertainties? Totally gridlocked by all the possible outcomes of a single decision? Well, you're definitely not alone. The Gita actually kicks off with a warrior, Arjuna, having a complete psychological collapse right on a battlefield. And if we look at this through a modern lens, Arjuna's breakdown isn't just some ancient myth. It's exactly what happens to us when we're overwhelmed trying to choose a high-stakes career move, or honestly, even when we're just paralyzed trying to pick what to watch on Netflix. He's facing pure uncertainty, and his mind simply shuts down.
So here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, anxiety and decision paralysis. Number 2, Sannyasa versus Tyaga. 3, the traps of false renunciation. 4, Sattwic action and flow. And 5, total integration from modern life. Let's start with Section 1, anxiety and decision paralysis, the battlefield of the mind.
From a strictly modern neuroscience perspective, Arjuna's collapse is the literal definition of what happens when emotional chaos takes over. We're talking about a full-on amygdala hijack, accompanied by a flood of cortisol. When you're overwhelmingly stressed about a potential outcome, your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical decision-making center of your brain, literally shuts off. It just goes dark. No clear action can possibly emerge from that state of emotional chaos.
And it's actually a lot like quantum physics. Before a measurement is made, multiple outcomes coexist simultaneously. Arjuna's mind, much like ours when we're obsessively overthinking, is trapped in this exact kind of probability overload. Obsessing over infinite unknown outcomes essentially traps us in suspended animation.
Moving into Section 2, Sannyasa versus Tyaga defined, the core of Chapter 18.
So Arjuna is super confused. He's essentially asking for a guide to philosophy, a way to master the art of living peacefully without getting trapped by all these doubts and struggles. He wants to know the true essence of Sannyasa and Tyaga. To really get this, we can look at the Mundaka Upanishad, which offers this beautiful metaphor of 2 birds sitting on a tree. One bird is frantically eating the sweet and sour fruits of life, experiencing all the anxiety and the highs and lows, while the other bird simply watches in detached peace. Arjuna basically wants to know how to be that watching bird, while still living and acting in the messy, real world.
And here is the crucial distinction to get us there. Sannyasa is often seen as this formal, lifetime commitment, literally giving up worldly actions entirely. But Tyaga? Now, Tyaga is for you and me. It's the daily art of living peacefully. It's the moment-to-moment practice of abandoning the anxiety over the fruits of our actions. You still fight the battles. You do your job, you raise your family, but you deliberately, consciously let go of obsessing over the outcome. It's honestly the ultimate blueprint for clarity in a modern world full of struggles.
Let's look at Section 3, the traps of false renunciation, why we fail to find peace.
You see, human behavior is governed by 3 primary energy states, or gunas, and they dictate exactly how we practice this tyaga. If simple delusion or laziness is what drives you to quit an action, well, that's tamasic tyaga, and it just leads to more feeling trapped. If you give up entirely because you're afraid of pain, that's rajasic tyaga, which leads to sorrow. But if you act out of duty or a higher ideal while letting go of your attachment to the outcome, that is Sattvic Tyaga, and that is a direct path to liberation.
The trap of Rajasic Tyaga is incredibly common for us today. Think about it. If you bail on a difficult conversation, or you drop a project simply because it's uncomfortable or takes a lot of effort, you're acting out of fear. You haven't actually transcended the problem at all. You've just run away from it. And because of that, you're never going to reap the true fruit of inner peace.
This brings us to Section 4, Sattwic action and flow, quantum coherence.
Real Tyaga, real renunciation is not about losing something. It's really about giving up a lower thing to access a higher ideal. It's like how a bud has to be abandoned to blossom into a flower, and then the flower is abandoned to become a fruit. Doing your duty just for duty's sake means abandoning those lower, nagging anxieties so your mind can blossom into supreme clarity.
Taking a modern quantum view here, Karma is essentially modifying probability fields through your actions. When we get totally obsessed with the results, our dopamine systems get hijacked. It literally becomes an addiction to an outcome that we can never fully control anyway. But when we shift our focus entirely to the process, to the action itself without that frantic attachment, we enter what psychology calls a flow state. We achieve this profound, powerful coherence of consciousness. And finally, Section 5, Total Integration for Modern Life, Achieving Moksha.
Chapter 18 gives us this brilliant ultimate synthesis. It doesn't tell us to run away and hide in a cave. Instead, it says to fulfill your natural duties, your swadharma, selflessly. It insists that we never abandon acts that purify us, things like sacrifice, charity, and austerity. By doing this selfless action, we actually purify our intellect. It beautifully merges the paths of action, knowledge, and devotion into one streamlined approach, culminating in the ultimate surrender of our ego.
But we have to remember, absolutely everything concerning action in the material world is under the sway of those three gunas, the energy states of tamas, rajas, and sattva. They completely govern all of our biological and psychological behaviors, creating this dense undergrowth of karma and automatic reactions. True liberation means acting in a way that clears out that undergrowth, eventually letting us step completely beyond those automatic energy states.
So, moksha isn't just some distant, mystical state you maybe get to after you die. It's the ultimate art of living peacefully right here, right now. It's characterized by having a beautifully regulated nervous system combined with totally detached action. It is quantum harmony with a probabilistic reality. You do your absolute best, you put in the work, but you remain entirely free from the anxiety of what the outcome might be.
I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on as you navigate your own internal battlefield today. Ask yourself, are you shaping your reality through attached anxiety, constantly frozen by the fear of what might happen? Or are you shaping it through a detached flow, embracing your everyday duties with a pure, focused mind? Ultimately, that choice is entirely up to you.